I have to make a clarification video in response to my last blood moon video. I do believe that the coming blood moon on January 20th is a prophetic warning for America. After looking at all the things that are going on in the world and in America, and the fact really that the blood moon will be over Washington D.C. and as well as it's going to be on the 2nd anniversary of Trump being president. This clearly, all the things adding up around it are seeming to be that this is a prophetic warning for America from God. I really do believe that. Now, I'm still going to leave my last blood moon video up because I did cover information and stuff in that video that I believe to be true. I don't believe every single blood moon is a prophetic warning. Every single blood moon definitely isn't a sign that Jesus is returning soon, because how many blood moons have there been since in the past 2,000 years? But we can look at verses in the Bible that say, like Luke 21:25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. So signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, that makes complete sense. Prophetic signs, as well as Acts 2:19 through 20 says, I will show wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke, and the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord. Now, even that, thinking about it, that sounds more to me just like in Matthew 24:29, where it says, after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. The stars shall fall from heaven and the powers of the heavens shaken. And then after that, Jesus comes. Those two instances sound more to me like this is those are events that take place and then Jesus comes. I don't believe that this blood moon that we're seeing on the 20th, like I said in my other video, that this is a sign that Jesus is coming, say, after this blood moon. And actually, who knows? I'm not sure when the next blood moon is supposed to be after that, but this could be the one before Jesus' return. But my whole point in all of that is that there's been so many blood moons up until this point that we can't look at this verse and say every time the moon is turned into blood that it's a sign of the coming before the great and awesome day of the Lord, because there's been so many. But when we hear that God says, I'll show wonders in heaven and signs in the earth beneath, and that he gives the sun and the moon and the stars for signs, that makes sense, because just the fact that this blood moon will be going over Washington, D.C., and it's on the 2nd anniversary of Trump becoming president, and the fact that right now the government is shut down and there's all this upheaval in the government, this seems like a prophetic warning from God. I do believe that. Just looking at all of the surrounding things going on, it makes sense that this is a sign and a prophetic warning of God. It really does. But I still do stand on the belief, and like I talked about in my last video, that every single blood moon, it doesn't, in my opinion, stand for a prophetic warning from God, because they may be prophetic warnings for the region that they go over, but it's obviously not a showing of the sign of the Son of Man coming in the clouds, because how many blood moons have there been since Jesus was around? Many, many blood moons, and he hasn't returned yet. There's things that have to take place in a chronological order, just like as we read in Matthew 24. Jesus clearly lays out everything that happens, and then the sun is darkened, the moon doesn't give her light, turns to blood, the stars fall from heaven, then Jesus comes on the clouds. So these are like chronological events. But God did say that he gives the sun, the stars, and the moon for signs. And looking at everything going around this blood moon, it does look to be a prophetic sign and a prophetic warning to America of the things that are going on right now in our nation. So we live in prophetic times. This and many, many other things. So many Bible prophecies are going on around us all of the time. This is the time to get right with God. You have to seek the Lord Jesus Christ today. Accept Jesus if you do not know him. We're moving towards the end of days, and the tribulation is right around the corner. You have to get right with God and accept Jesus today, because we're talking about where you're gonna spend eternity here if you do or don't know Jesus. That's what's determining your eternity, so you've got to get right with him. And if you doubt his existence, look at Bible prophecy and how much of it is going on right now and how much of it has already been fulfilled, and that should prove to you the validity of him. Thanks for watching, and God bless.